Given that contemporary theatre is stubbornly searching for a new image, many experiments are being carried out in this sphere. But according to the young director Alexandra Merkulova, new theatre should always have its main purpose, namely looking into a person's soul. The story of the choice between life and death, about love and self-sacrifice, is shown in the play The Ashes. Alexandra's interests are diverse: Squaring the Circle by Valentin Katayev, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, The Suicide by Nikolai Erdmann, and A Stalemate Lasts But a Moment by the Lithuanian writer I. Meras. If you like something, then just follow the Nike tagline and just do it. If you feel something and think you can say something with the help of it, well, Alexandra can come up with something, but is not afraid to reject it. That is, she is a person of the moment, a person of the process. Here she says, "Oh, Oleg, let's leave it now, and later we'll see." Well, it's very interesting. The art director of the Kiev Molody Theatre, Andrei Bilus, created a microstage as the third stage, especially for experiments and debuts of young directors and graduate students. The quest for non-standard solutions is what is attracting more and more creative people to this unusual venture, which is very quickly gaining in popularity. The Ashes, directed by Alexandra Merkulova, is among the recent successful performances. Well, this is sad material, but I can't say that it is heavy because the novel was written lightly and we tried hard to make it light in its staging. After all, this is literature. It's a novel, not a drama. Therefore, it was necessary to change the composition completely. It was seemingly created as another play, not based on the novel, but built especially for the stage. It seems that everything which is written about the Holocaust in the novel is somehow far away, yet so close to us at the same time. And you think, well, I'm now in the year 2017. It's even difficult to fathom and comprehend this story. They say, just imagine the circumstances. Of course, they are specific and definite, but oh, I don't know how to imagine that. It's so painful. The play The Ashes is based on the novel by I. Meras titled A Stalemate Lasts But a Moment. This work is about the tragic fate of Jews during the Holocaust. The director herself did both the translation and the staging and presented her vision of the dramatic material from the times of the Second World War. We just wanted to say, hey people, let's make the right choice in our lives. This performance is not about the ghetto or about the war. This performance is about people's choices. It tells us that we shouldn't cruel and demean ourselves. We should stay humane. This is not about the war and its consequences, although it's very far away from us in time. In fact, we are all living now and for today. We have already been living with this feeling and dignity, which has been fighting aggression for many years now. What's more, now the reality is war. The Ashes was being formed and perfected in the process of its preparation. The details and nuances of the characters' behaviour in this play were constantly being polished, and with every show the actors felt new sensations and made new discoveries in the understanding of the tragedy. I know that the most important thing that Andrei told us later during the final rehearsals is simply got stuck in my mind, because the material in this play makes everyone cry and suffer, and he said to us that we should have the desire to live until the very last breath and moment in time. You should cling to this life and believe in it until the very end. And it seems to me that this is a basic rule in order to not feel any suffering and start begging for the audience's sympathy. Life in the Territory of Death, a heart-piercing story of a tailor named Abraham Lipman, whose daughters and sons die one by one, is presented to the audience, but each of them is ready to sacrifice their lives for the sake of the others. In the plot of the novel, it's slightly different from the vantage point of composition. The main character loses his children one by one. His last child, Isaac, dies at the very end. However, all these episodes are brought together into one. So this bright story full of love for life began from the end. The commandant of the territory, Shoga, orders Isaac, the last son of Abraham, to play a game of chess with him. But it's not just a game, because his life is at stake here. And the rules are such that if this boy wins, he will die, and if he loses, then all the children in the ghetto will die. So his ultimate goal is to take the game to reach a draw. When a person understands the responsibility of their choice, they ultimately make that choice. Both the director and the actors made an attempt to reveal the story of people's soul in this short play. The images created by the young actors impress not only the audience, but also the most experienced colleagues in theatre performances. The famous actor Anatoly Petrov had an opportunity to assess the professional level of the young people with whom he works together in this performance. And in this sense, it's easier for me as an artist. It's much more difficult for them, because they keep a distance and they are inside the character at the same time. This is a very complicated thing, and of course I'm quite confident that this resonates with the audience. There is a minimum of stage props. The style is restrained and laconic. The costumes are as grey as ashes. Survival in the ghetto, intertwined with a symbol that permeates the whole story. It's a game of chess. Actors who are hung by mechanical hooks of the system like chess pieces move along the given trajectory. Yes, we exist here at the level of contemplation. That is, we don't need anything. All the adrenaline most likely is drawn from the micro stage, as everyone can watch our micro moves. The reactions of the eye are more important than what is happening all around. Here we don't need anything. Our task was not to surprise, amaze or perform a play, but simply speak our mind. Oleg Kukushku is a young actor, but he has already managed to work with many playwrights and directors. In The Ashes, he plays the highly demanding and difficult role of the 17-year-old boy, Isaac. What I discovered is that all my characters have some kind of attitude. They are not passive. On the contrary, they are psychologically brittle and broken. Oleg's partner in the performance, Nadia Tihipko, plays the role of the gentle girl, Esther, with great pleasure. It is not by accident that Isaac came up with this funny name. According to Nadia, their couple personifies a bright fairy tale world in the darkness of reality. When he calls me Buzia, I can feel all his love in this name. I appear in the fairy tale moments of the play and feel that I am emanating a ray of light in that ugly ghetto. Esther is a girl you fall in love with and realize that she is a real living person and that your destiny is to live a short life. But while you are living and breathing, you will discover everything possible. In the course of the performance, Abraham's children die one by one. His daughter Ina is a famous opera singer. In the ghetto, the underground premiere of the opera La Juive is being prepared. Ina risks and goes to the city to take music score from her friend. On the way back, she unexpectedly ran into the commandant, Shoger. When I'm on the stage, sometimes I see how people are really worried about me and how they cry for real. Then someone comes and says, "I couldn't help crying during your scene." These young people perform very sincerely. It is not often that you see actors and actresses shed real tears on stage, and all that is visible in the performance. There are many characters, but this is not some flashlight shining in your eyes that causes tears. No, that's all balderdash. In truth, it's all something that comes from the inner soul inside. It's an inner job. Every time the characters in this play choose something more important than life, a friend, a profession, pride, faith or love, they try to leave a part of their souls in this world. Abraham Lippman risks the life of his last son, a brilliant chess player, Isaac, to save the children of the ghetto. Here every person tells their story, and it's not even a person who tells the story but their soul, which has experienced all that. Victoria Romashko has found her own special approach and actor's means to create a palette of a complex emotional image of her character, although it was not easy for her to overcome the feeling of revenge and hatred for the murderer, Shoger. In this role, on the contrary, I always try before the beginning of the performance to get rid of all the negative emotions and aggression. Because if you get angry, what will be left to play on the stage? You should fight against evil only with kindness here. In the performance, there are several important scenes which the actors play with great inspiration. As in these climatic moments, their talent is manifested as best as possible. An episode with flowers is among these moments. This moment is considered to be the most touching. They worked somewhere beyond the territory of the ghetto, and he decided to pick daisies for the girl and bring them to her. And that guard constantly takes his flowers. Then the moment came when the guard Shogur beat him very badly, almost half to death. But Isaac still gave flowers to his beloved girl. Because the main message of the character is that everything can be prohibited in the territory of the ghetto, but love can't be forbidden. That's why it's touching. Everything is clear with positive characters. The audience likes them and empathizes with them. But it wasn't so easy for actor Serhiy Ponomarenko to play the role of Commandant Shogur and try to win the hearts of the viewing audience. After all, he plays the role of a fascist. For me, the most spectacular scene is when I have to scream just like Adolf Hitler. Do you know why it's really impossible? You're in my armchair and I'm on your stool. I can explain. There is only one king. This is really a difficult moment for me. This is the peak moment. Serhiy set himself a difficult creative task. He wanted to evoke the viewer's sympathy to his character, who is nothing more than a cynical assassin. As they say, this is Stanislavski's system in the works. I didn't want to make it monotonous or bad, because I simply believed that bad people do not exist. I also tried to find different features in my character, so that perhaps in a split second, the audience could also sympathize with my character. Over the last 2 years, I have been given the roles of such character types. Apparently, I'm such a character that is inherently malevolent. Actors can be perfectly seen on the microstage. The audience is so close that you can hear it intensely breathing. Only sincerity and the truthfulness of sensations are intertwined in the common space of the theatre. Of course, at first it was scary, and then suddenly you capture the attention of the audience. You feel that they are empathizing and realize what they are waiting for. And of course, this is a test for all of us, including me. There is a very high probability of lying. That is, you lied somewhere or you didn't play out your role in a proper way. And the audience sees this immediately, as it is only sitting a meter away from you. I have fallen in love with this stage. The microstage is my true love, and it's very cozy. It's so atmospheric and so warm, and the viewers, when they come here, behave differently. They are somehow more cautious. They immediately get into the atmosphere which we create before this. Therefore, it is a microcosm, and it's quite amazing. In my opinion, as a viewer, this play can be much stronger than a large-scale staging. No, I won't give up on the microstage, because when this window of opportunity was just opened, I realized it was mine, and that this microstage was specially created for this performance. Each time a play is staged, it assumes new features, there are new discoveries, and brand new feelings appear, and the audience on such a platform as the microstage in the Molody Theatre plays a very important role. We discuss it with the guys. For us, every performance, and the Ashes especially, is like a jump into some kind of obscurity. There was a man who applauded like this, and then he bowed, standing in the second row like this. And it's so nice. You leave the theatre with a charge of energy. Honestly, I always look at the audience, and I always ask, so, have they left yet? Did they not like the play? That's not the case at all. Everyone stayed to the very end. Well, at least now we perform it quite often. It becomes some kind of a top notch. There are 2 to 3 performances a month. The characters of the story are ordinary people. By the will of fate, they wound up in borderline circumstances, and they were forced to make a choice. Both the director and the actors say that they have set a super task. We don't talk about war. We have another main topic here, the people's choice. And in my view, I think this is very important. After all, in our day and age, a person does not always make the right decision in life. According to the creators of The Ashes, every day all of us choose how to act for one's own benefit and that of others. The characters of this play have life and death at stake, and as long as they continue breathing, they opt for being humane and try to do their best to appreciate every moment of their lives.